Hi, my name is Gigi Naglak, and I'm the Director of Programs at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities. This video is to introduce you to New Jersey Council for the Humanities Community History Program, to take you through some basic information about the program and help you determine if you might be a good fit for this program, to which you can apply over the next several weeks. Without further ado, let's get started. So community history was launched in 2021, and in fact, the 2026 cohort will be our seventh cohort in the program. The program itself is a cohort-based learning program designed to help all New Jerseyans actively participate in preserving, interpreting, and sharing their own community's histories. And the program, Community History, provides training, funding, and cohort support for organizations to develop and launch their own public history projects inside their communities. There's a strong emphasis on learning and sharing untold and underrepresented stories, and no prior history, training, or knowledge is necessary to participate in the program. 2026 will be a very special cohort, our first themed cohort for the Community History Program, since we will be part of the commemoration of America's 250th anniversary. We are thrilled to be part of Revolution NJ and have received funding from the Historical Commission to support this work. I want to be very clear that community history is not just about 1776, even as we are participating in the 250th anniversary commemoration. We want to focus on the revolution and its legacy, not just what happened in New Jersey in 1776, but what we have done over the past 250 years to strive towards our American goal of a more perfect union that was established at the founding of this country. So, what kinds of organizations can participate in community history? You do indeed have to be New Jersey based. Your organization has to be founded for nonprofit purposes. That might include 501c3 nonprofits, government-based organizations, local or state government-based organizations. You do not have to be a 501c3. Some organizations are formed for nonprofit purposes but have not completed official registration as an entity like that. Types of organizations that have participated in the past include libraries, arts organizations, cultural organizations, volunteer-run historical societies, you name it. We've probably had somebody from that type of organization participate over the last 6 years. If you have an open award currently with the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, you do have to wait until that award is finished and your final report approved before you can apply for a new award. The program includes 3 major pillars: learning, funding, and community. We're going to talk about each of these 3 important parts of the community history program in a little bit more detail. Learning is probably the primary component of the community history program. It is why professionalized history organizations who have strong understanding of history practices and who are led by professional historians are not a good fit for this program, because this is a learning program. Learning happens through our cohort sessions, through individual one-on-one meetings, through assignments that we work through together as a cohort, and ultimately through the creation of a new project plan and budget to pilot a new project in your community after the learning portions of this program. The second component, also very important, is funding. There are 2 parts to the funding that come with our community history program. All participants receive a $1,000 participation award. We recognize that community history requires a significant amount of time for organizations to participate and want to help defray the cost of that with this participation award. Organizations that participate in the entire program and do the work needed, show up at the sessions, are eligible to apply for additional funding up to $5,000 to pilot new projects that are created through the program. While this funding is available to all participants, I do want to mention that it is optional. You can participate in this program and decide in the end that you do not want to apply for additional funding, and that is fine. I do also want to mention that that additional funding is contingent on participation. Organizations that do not participate in the program as directed will not be eligible to get that additional funding. And finally, there's the component of community. A real important part of this program is helping to end isolation that can happen for history organizations, for people doing history work, I should say, particularly in small organizations that might not have a large staff or a large community to work with. This is an opportunity for you to meet other people within the cohort who are doing the same kind of work that you have and interested in the same kind of goals that you have, to get to know members of the rest of the New Jersey history community through, for example, our guest speakers and mentors who regularly participate in this program. We also keep building that community through optional meetups after the program and opportunities to continue to get involved even beyond when you are part of the community history program. This is a really wonderful way to get more involved in the broader history community across New Jersey and to meet other people who are interested in the same kinds of things that you are. The timeline is extensive. As I mentioned, this is a significant time commitment. The first part of the program is the learning intensive part of it, the learning part of the program. It's really focused on the first 4 months, starting with 2 full-day meetings that take place in February and March. Those will go from approximately 10 to 3 in a location that is central to as much of the cohort as humanly possible. After those first 2 meetings, we then have approximately monthly meetings that last 2 hours, and they do take place virtually. This year, for the first time, we are also adding one more in-person component, which is a field trip. The field trip will take place in either May or June, depending on the schedule of the educators at the field trip site and the cohort members. But we're really looking forward to an opportunity to experience history at a historical site in New Jersey and talk about how our incredible historical sites really engage with their communities as part of the work that they do. The second part of the program focuses on project development, and that is really after the learning sessions have taken place, an opportunity to spend the summer back with your community, developing your project and writing your proposal. That time will also include at least one-on-one meeting with me to talk about how your project is developing, ask questions, and brainstorm together. This is a time that you'll spend a lot of time with the people in your community who you have identified to be part of this project, making sure that they have a say in how the project is created, not just in how it's implemented, but in what you're doing and how you're going to do it. It's also a great opportunity to start identifying the needs that you're going to have in your pilot project, identifying experts you might want to work with in a longer term sense, and figuring out costs that are going to be necessary as you're developing your project plan and budget. Finally, we gather together one more time in September to present and approve the final projects that each of the participants have created through this program. After that, it is right back to your communities to do the work on your pilot projects. You will get your next round of funding up to $5,000 to pilot your project, and you have up to a year to complete that work from October 2026 through September of 2027. During this time, you have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with me as you need it to help you along and brainstorm any issues that might come up or challenges you might be having, brainstorm solutions to those. We also will have optional cohort meetings and lots of other opportunities to continue your community history learning. If you're interested in seeing some of the projects that have been created by past participants in the community history program, you can do so on our website at njhumanities.org. Go to the program section and community history, which is where you can find all the information and application information for this program. You've probably seen it already. Participants in the program um, will identify 1 to 3 project team members that should be represented at all of our program activities. While we obviously need to have at least one person from each organization participating in this program, we recommend having 2 to 3 if that's at all possible. Since that gives you some wiggle room should someone be unable to attend a particular session, it also gives a natural brainstorming group that will be familiar with your organization, your community, and your work to help with your learning and with the development of your projects. Participants in this program do not have to be official members of your organization. It can be staff members, if staff members even exist, but also board members, volunteers, people from outside of your organization who are nonetheless deeply connected to your community. Anyone who represents your organization and/or your community is an appropriate fit for the community history program. Just once more, I want to mention that community history is not a traditional grant program. In traditional grant programs, you come in with a defined project. We are asking you not to do that here for community history. In many cases, organizations have ideas when they come in to the program. That is totally fine. However, we ask you to hold your ideas lightly, as the opportunities for learning and project development that come through the program may give you new ideas or different ways to expand your work. It is also not a traditional grant program in the sense that we're asking you, we do not require you to have particular expertise as you come into this program. This is primarily a learning program. This is a strongly community-driven process. We are utilizing community-engaged public history practices. This is, in fact, a way to learn and develop your own community-engaged public history practices and methodologies. I should mention, however, that this is not the only way we do history, and you may have done history for a long time in different ways. That's fantastic. However, we do ask that you take this leap with us in this particular program to do it our way, see what else you can learn, see how this might push you in new directions, and try out new things for the duration of this program. If you're interested in applying, I strongly recommend that you do so. There is more detail on everything that I've said in this informational video in our guidelines, which you can find at njhumanities.org/programs/community history. Again, it's in the program section of our website. You can see it in the drop-down menu. The guidelines and the link to the application are both on that page. If you have applied to a program with NJCH before, Community History, Humanities Lab, a grant sponsorship, chances are you already have a login to our system. But if not, you can register your organization and yourself when you click on that apply link. It'll take you to our application and award system. If you have any questions about that process, please don't hesitate to reach out. As part of your application for this program, we are going to ask you to schedule an interview. It is one of the pieces you can see right in the application. There's also some information about that in the guidelines. Interviews last about half an hour and can involve one or more people who are applying for your organization. They can take place before, during, or after you submit an application, whatever is going to best serve you. If you have a lot of questions about the program, I recommend that you schedule your interview early. If you've pretty much got a handle on what you want to do, you want to submit your application and then talk about the application as part of your interview, that is also great. But do schedule an interview at your earliest convenience, as those slots will start to set up start to fill up. I should mention also that the majority of applicants who apply to community history do get into the program, so don't be shy. And if you run into any programs anywhere along the way as part of your application, I'm here to help. Gigi Naglak, Director of Programs at the New Jersey Council for the Humanities. You can see my email and my phone number. They're also available in the About section of our website under the staff. And I really encourage you to make full use of my expertise and also the information on the website. Email is usually the fastest way to get in touch with me, but don't hesitate to call as well, and I'll get back to you right away if I have not already, if I'm not able to answer your question over email. Whether you're having technical difficulties, whether you would like to brainstorm ideas, or you have questions about the program, please don't hesitate to reach out to ask us for them. Thank you for listening to this information, and I hope to see your application for community history in the queue. Have a great day.